Hello, it's Topical Tuesday, January 16th, 2018. Steve Sipress here on an uncharacteristically cloudy and breezy day here in usually sunny Arizona. We are expecting a little rain over the next 2 or 3 days, but of course temps are still, I believe they're in the 70s. I mean, it's definitely ugly red Hawaiian shirt weather, if you ask me, as we brave through the winter here in Arizona. First, sharing the rhino of the day is this very cool, this is a photo, hey Rich, this is a photo that a good friend and client took of the door to his hunting lodge somewhere in Africa. He has a company where he leads safaris and hunters, and he takes them to Africa to hunt big game and other stuff. And this is a rhino carving on a wooden door somewhere in Africa, Zimbabwe or something. And I wonder if our president of the United States considers whatever country this door was created in to be like some kind of a crap hole country. And he would use some more flowery language than I do. Hey, Kathleen. So that's the issue here, is all the anti-Trumpers, or the people that just don't, I think they'll never understand Donald Trump. I mean, the guy could be in office for 4 years, 8 years, 20 years, 100 years. I think they will decide that they're never going to understand Donald Trump or any other business person. Donald Trump is not a racist bone in his body. He's simply a business owner. He's a marketer. And the WOW strategy, which all business owners use to their success, I mean, I call it the WOW strategy. It is based on a successful strategy taken out of the real life, and I just simplified it, name it the WOW strategy. The first W stands for the who, the most important thing in all of business and all of marketing, which is the right target market. So in Donald Trump, do people forget what Donald Trump did before he became president of the United States? He built a luxury brand. He targeted luxury clientele that would buy his overpriced, expensive hotel rooms and condos and whatever else he could come up with, steaks and water and, anything you put the name Trump on. But the Trump brand was always known for, and still is, it's known for the utmost quality, perfectionism, attention to detail, so that the Trump resorts and the Trump golf courses are all impeccably maintained, and anything out of place when Trump would visit, there's legendary stories of him just firing somebody because there was water on the ground that hadn't been mopped up within 15 minutes. That guy is fired. Like, everything's the top standard. So the guy gets to be president, and he can't help himself. He's sitting there which is another story for another day, that he just can't help himself. But, he's got 70 years of targeting an affluent market, and he gets there, and they're having this whole discussion about people coming in from all over the world, and he just has to bring himself to say, like, why are we bringing people in from all these crappy countries? Like, why aren't we targeting the very best people to come to the U.S.? Well, here's the deal. When you're the president, number one, I mean, there's a few lessons, and you can head over to lessonslearnedfromdonaldtrump.com, where Everett Farnell and I host a weekly podcast episode, which we've done for, I think, the past 94 weeks or so. And that's this week's topic. So if you go to Lessons Learned from Donald Trump, or you search iTunes for the Lessons Learned from Donald Trump podcast, we have fun every week with another outrageous, ridiculous, absurd, earth-shattering, the world is ending statement or thing that Donald Trump says or does or tweets or whatever he does. And we teach a business lesson from it. And this is the fact. Donald Trump is a luxury marketer who targets the very best people. He doesn't target them. He doesn't give a crap what color they are or what race they're from or what religion or any of that crap. He cares about what's going to make him the most money. Here's the deal. When you get to be president, you can no longer do stuff like this. Like, when you're in business, I suggest that I only work with clients that want to target the very best customers, clients, patients. I don't work in the high volume, low end world where there's tons of money to be made. Just ask Walmart or McDonald's or Amazon or any other high volume, low priced shopping places. Of course, they're making billions and billions of dollars. I just don't swim in that world. I don't help clients to attract a raw volume of crummy, low quality customers to buy low quality goods and service. I counsel my client very often. All I got to do with a client to help them make tons more money and double or triple their income is just say, just double your price. And they're charging too little. And they can now, this is not a lesson pricing strategy, but they can attract a better clientele when they have a higher price. Higher quality clientele looks at something with a low price and just assumes it's crappy. Sometimes you just double the price and they assume it's better quality. But that's the world Donald Trump comes from, okay, is the world where you target the very best and you build luxury brands. Hey, Casey, good seeing you. So here's the deal, though. You don't go off disparaging people that you're not targeting, okay? I just said I target the highest quality, and I help my clients target the highest quality clients that pay the top prices. They expect the best products and services. When they fly first class. When they go on a vacation, they stay in the Ritz or the Four Seasons. When they dine at a restaurant, they dine at a fine dining restaurant. They buy the steak and the lobster, and they get dessert. And they buy a nice bottle of wine. When they go to a clothing store, they don't buy off the rack discount. They buy the very best clothes and the very best shoes, and they get custom-made shirts and so on. But you didn't hear me say any nonsense like, oh, but Walmart shoppers are bad. That's a bad people. Well, he didn't say it either. He didn't say the bad people, but he's saying, I didn't say that Walmart or McDonald's is somehow a crappy company because they target a low-end clientele. It just happens to be low-end. I don't call it a hellhole or crappy or the flowery language Donald Trump and others would use. If you watch TV, they love it. Since we're just quoting the president, we're able to curse all till our heart's content out there. So that's another story for another day of how despite all the good things Trump does for the economy and to get the country back on track, he certainly is not in the category, I would say, of leading the best example around the world, which the anti-Trumpers have a field day with. But I mean, there was the court case, I don't know, 40, 50 years ago or something, where he was found guilty of or settled, but he was like discriminating against black people renting apartments in his buildings in New York. He didn't do that because of what race they are. He did it because he found some report that said, when you have a predominantly white area and you bring in people from other ethnicities, it brings down the value, and that's why he did it. He couldn't even think hard enough to be racist. He's just thinking about dollars and cents and bottom line. So number one rule is you don't disparage markets you're not going after. I mean, Walmart isn't a crappy business like Amazon isn't, McDonald's isn't. These are great businesses. I just choose not to do business that way. Donald Trump has to go off and say, just because I choose to not want to bring people in from crappy countries, somehow they're crappy countries. Second of all, of course, everyone who's from those countries, and I got plenty of friends from Haiti and Africa and so forth, they know. I mean, I lived in Chicago for 15 years. I knew it was a crap hole of a city. Like, I got the heck out of there. Like, just because it's a crappy place doesn't mean there's crappy people there. And so Rich says he just canceled his Motel 6 reservation at Disney World. I was not aware that Disney World, which is that's a great brand to study, by the way, for luxury marketing. I wasn't aware they have a Motel 6 there. I do know that they have ridiculously brilliant pricing strategies, and they overcharge for all their souvenirs, and they have high-end restaurants, and they have 5-star resorts that they sell to the most affluent people, and they have like advanced passes you can buy where you can pay extra money and skip the line. You can pay extra money and get a private guide going around. They know how to cater to the highest net worth individuals that are the finest clients that want to pay the highest prices. But that doesn't mean they say, gee, if you just want to buy a regular ticket, you're a pile of crap. Get out of here. Why are we attracting people from crappy countries? Next time you hear Disney say something stupid, like whether it's in public or private, gee, why are we attracting people from crappy cities or crappy countries? How stupid that would be. So number one thing is, like, even if you target high quality buyers, don't sit there disparaging like people that want to shop at Walmart or stay in a Motel 6 or whatever. Go ahead, great. They'll keep the light on. Second thing is, politics not like business. You can't. There's only one, like, of whatever country there is, like, let's say Haiti. I know that's one in particular, and the rest, I think they were just saying in general it's somewhere in Africa. But let's take Haiti, for instance. Like, so I know people from Haiti. I've had a business partner from Haiti. I have clients that are from Haiti. There's some fantastic people. In fact, there's something to be said for the people that get out of Haiti and come to the U.S., obviously are the smartest, sharpest they know. Some of them are. They know they got to get the heck out of there. And even the people that get on rafts to get out of there or out of Cuba or whatever, they're sharper than the average people that just sit there. Or, like, I got plenty of friends and even clients and ex-neighbors or whatever that stay in Chicago and make up all their excuses. But you don't understand, or my business is here, or my family is here. Like, the sharpest people get the heck out of the crap holes, okay? Nick is here. Good seeing you. So, but, you know, Trump says this thing behind closed doors, but he's got some enemies in the room, right? Some Trump haters were in the room when, and now he's denied. Okay, so I guess, no, you know, the facts are the people he's denying he said it, or other people are back. Look, I personally, knowing what I know of Donald Trump and studying him, you know, I grew up in New York, so I've been following this guy for 40 years or so. Like, you know, I believe he said such a thing. That's what a marketer could say. The thing is, when Donald Trump is marketing to the affluent, he can afford to have no relationship with Walmart shoppers and Motel 6 shoppers. He just, you know, pays them no attention. But when you're the president of the United States, you still have to talk to the president of Haiti or the prime minister of Uganda or whatever the heads of all these countries are. And now they all got to be saying, like, well, so you think is my country a pile of crap? I mean, it's the same mistake that Hillary made that helped cost her. One of the bazillion mistakes she made, besides just being Hillary, that cost her the election, was calling half of the Trump supporters in a basket of deplorables. So Trump now comes out and does the same thing and says, oh, these countries are crap holes. Like, big mistake. Okay, so target the very best prospects. Doesn't make you a racist, doesn't make you a wealthist or a incomist or whatever the disparaging term would be, that someone who discriminates. And by the way, discriminating can be a negative, of course, but it can also be a positive term. Look it up in the dictionary. I mean, I've heard it speak about marketing. I've seen it in commercials and heard it in marketing for years. For people, I think it's a slogan. I don't remember the company. It's for people who have discriminating tastes. Like, yes, I have discriminating taste. I don't just drink any wine that comes along. I don't, of course, drink any wine at all anymore, but I don't eat any food that comes along. I only eat the finest. I only drink the finest. I only stay in the finest place. I have discriminating taste. I only wear the finest clothes. Obviously, we're not talking about me with this ugly red Hawaiian shirt, but I have the finest taste. I have discriminating taste. That's a positive thing. So, positive, negative to the word discriminating, the anti-Trumpers and your competitors and people that hate you or your business or your employees, or who employees by definition have to always complain about their job and their boss and hate everything about it, just the way it's supposed to be, are going to say negative things. So don't give them any more rope to hang yourself. Don't give them any more ammunition to say negative things about you by saying, we target the finest residents. I helped a client years ago, a painting contractor who only did work in the finest suburbs of Chicago. And they're not like all packed in a row so that you can market to all of them and exclude the other towns. You're bound to when you put an ad somewhere. He gets some calls from places he just didn't want to go and do business. So that was the question. How do we, not do business in the places we don't want to do business? How do we do? You just say no when they call. You just say, we don't do work in that town. I mean, you put it on your website, you put it in your brochure, but when you get a response, you just say, yeah, we don't do work in that town. And yet they do work in the town 10 miles over. So it isn't a matter of a mileage. It's not saying like we don't do work in that town because it's too far to go. The response would be, well, I don't understand. You go to this town that's 10 miles further. You just tell them, we only do work in the most affluent town. Look at this. My beautiful wife, Michelle, is home. So how about that? There it is. Facebook Live, my beautiful wife, Michelle, coming home for the day. So I'm going to call it a day here on the Facebook Live video. Thanks to Kathleen and Nick and Rich and Chris or anybody else that was here live, Casey, Jim is here. Drew is here. Thanks to everybody for being live. But I don't believe for a second that Donald Trump could even, think straight or long enough to be racist. That has no place in business at all. But being discriminating towards the highest quality prospects, to me, that's the way I want to run a business. Now, if I ran the country, I'm not so sure you can do that. You can't really alienate all the leaders of countries around the world, because now they're thinking that you think their country sucks. Even if you do, you just don't say it in public. You don't say it in private. You don't really even think it. But, you can't tell this guy what to think. I mean, for crying out loud, now he's the president of the United States. No one can tell him what to think, and apparently no one can tell him what to tweet. No one can tell him what to say. So we're just having a ton of fun. 1 year down, at least 3 to go. We're having quite fun. Every single day there's an earth-shaking, crazy, ridiculous thing going on that this guy says or does. And it's a lot of fun. Meanwhile, the good news is he's taken a lot of right actions to deregulate and lower taxes and get this economy that's been dreadful and dormant for 10 years to finally get it going again. And as a business owner, of course, we love that. So we love the results. Not so pleased with the way this guy thinks or acts or talks, other than it is one heck of an entertaining ride, is it not? And again, if you haven't yet, go over to lessonslearnedfromdonaldtrump.com or check out on iTunes the Lessons Learned from Donald Trump podcast every week. My co-host Everett Farnell and I have a ton of fun discussing yet another ridiculous thing going on from our nation's leader, and we have a business lesson or two in there for you, the listener, as well as I have one every day on my Facebook Live videos. Speaking of which, I'll be back tomorrow on Wisdom Wednesday, and I'll share a fun tidbit that'll help you rock it in 2018. Join the party. Party is going to be happening. Hopefully, you're on board for the ride. Everyone's going to make some money this year. Some people are really going to kill it. Hopefully, that's you. I'll catch you tomorrow. Thanks for being here today. Bye-bye.